Hey, Danny, good to see you again. It's been a while since Las Vegas and you guys playing over at the ballpark there. Do you remember that little show back before the pandemic hit?
I do. I do.
Well, congratulations on all the success over the years, Danny. It's been you've been quite an inspiration for a lot of young musicians across the country and around the world. See What's on the Inside is out and available wherever people steal their damn music nowadays. October the 1st, and a massive tour with the incredible A Day to Remember coming to Reno here in a couple of weeks on October the 15th. Congratulations on all that. Must be nice to get back out and actually perform in front of people again, huh?
We'll see. This is the very beginning right now. So we'll see if how my feelings are. I might be too used to my couch at this point.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. You're widely known as having one of the best voices in rock music today. Aside from, a change in musical direction, what would you say was the biggest motivator for you to leave Asking Alexandria almost a decade ago? And I'm sure you've talked about this ad nauseum, but I figured I'd go ahead and ask the question.
It wasn't through anything to do with wanting to do different kinds of music. Well, it was. It wasn't to do with wanting to not do Asking Alexandria music. It was more so, and this is a lesson we learned through that change. At the end of the day, I'm always going to want to do something else. I think that's something we learned about ourselves, and we all have limits and we all have things in our lives and our personal lives that are very important to us. And for me, that is writing songs and putting out music of all different shapes and sizes. So one of the things we learned is that I'm able to do that. Danny can go make a country record. Danny can go make a blues record. Danny can go make a soul record, and it's fine. Asking's still going to be here, and he's still going to be here. Yeah. I think the only trouble came when there was a lot of control and restriction put in place, which I don't react very well to. So I was basically not by the guys in the band, but put into a corner of like, well, it's us or your creations. And I was like, cool, me. I'm gonna choose me. Yeah. But then time passed, and we came back together, and we learned a lot more about ourselves and each other. And I think that was our biggest takeaway lesson was everyone kind of has their things that they need to do and that are very important to them. They all have families. I have a recording studio.
Yeah. And dogs.
I do have dogs.
I think it was Don Henley who once talked about when the Eagles got back together. I don't know if you're an Eagles fan at all, but having done solo stuff and duets with other people and whatnot, Don once said, there's just something about the sound that comes out of me and the sound that we create together as a band that I've just never been able to find working with any other musicians. Do you think something similar with Asking Alexandria, a certain chemistry where just the stars align when you guys are together?
Absolutely. I mean, if you put me and Ben in a room to write a song, you're going to get a different kind of song that I'm going to be able to write with anyone else.
Yeah.
I can write a great song with anyone in the world that you put in front of me. It's something that I've worked my entire life to learning how to do and to studying that craft and that art. And I pride myself on being a songwriter first and foremost before being a member of Asking Alexandria or being a singer or being anything. I'm a songwriter. So that's something I'm always able to do. That said, when I sit down with Ben Bruce, it's just something different happens. I think we have an unspoken subconscious connection that just clicks and good stuff happens.
Wow, very cool, man. Do you have any future plans to maybe do another We Are Harlot album, or is that part of your past?
As of right now, Asking Alexandria is like only focus. Everything without the Asking Alexandria logo on it's kind of on the back burner right now while we focus on this record and this rollout and this cycle and these tours. There will be a time and a place for everything else, but I'm very focused on this right now, and I don't have the mental bandwidth to kind of take on so much stuff. This has already taken up so much of my life where I don't have room for anything else, and I feel like I'd be doing disjustice to one or the other to try and add something on top of this.
Right. Yeah, I don't blame you, man. You've grown up around music, playing on boxes and pots and pans and whatnot. A lot of us kids, do the same thing, that we aspire to become rock stars eventually. to teaching yourself how to play guitar and bass. How do you approach songwriting now? Do you start with a lyrical melody, or is it something
No, never.
piano? There's a musical melody that inspires a
It's a
feeling
good.
or a story.
It's a guitar. It's a guitar or a piano every time. If it's a guitar, we're probably doing a rock song. If it's a piano, we're probably doing something very depressing. Depending which one which one the idea comes from, that particular day is whatever that song's gonna be. I've tried to write happy stuff on pianos. I'm not good at it. I can write something sad on just about anything, but I can write some pretty fun rock stuff on a guitar, and I've done lately over the last couple of years. I've pretty much just written the entire time. Done a lot of funk, a lot of pop, a lot of soul, a lot of blues. So I've really just mixed it up. I've been very fortunate to have Mr. Paul Reed Smith build a couple very, very special one-off guitars for me that I've just been glued to. It made me fall in love with it again. And yeah, I just sat and played guitar for the last 2 years, and occasionally the piano, and just wrote fun songs and then figure out what the words are and melodies are afterwards.
Yeah, it was kind of a shocker. John Mayer just switched from being a Fender guy to a Paul Reed Smith guy, and watching that whole video on how he explains, the immediacy and the attention that Paul Reed Smith obviously has made an amazing instrument for a ton of years. But I hear he's very cool to work with. He
is, and I actually have one of John's guitars on this bus as well. I say John like I'm close friends with. John Mayer guitars on the bus, and it is phenomenal. And we have Fender custom shop strats out here. I played a lot of the like 60s and 50s vintages, 60s, 70s vintages, and yeah, I can see why he moved.
Yeah, no doubt. Does anything seem to be different this time around with Asking Alexandria that wasn't there before? I mean, obviously you guys moved to a different record label as well from Sumerian, but I understand you still have a good relationship with Sumerian over to Better Noise. But anything different?
We've been allowed a lot more input and a lot more. We've been allowed absolute input and control into this album. It's allowed us to be involved in the entire process, not just writing the songs. They kind of gave notes on the songs as well, being like, as a listener, maybe like, what if you like made this longer, stuff like that, like very kind of acceptable criticism. But ultimately, everything has been something that we've been able to decide and we've been able to be involved in, which wasn't necessarily the case in the past. It's the organization and structure and method of execution within Better Noise is a lot more in line with what we want and where we want to be and what our goals are and what we're trying to accomplish over the next 10 years. So it felt like a much more appropriate and productive home for us.
Okay, maybe a bit more collaborative in a way, without the walls.
Almost less collaborative, but purely on the basis of we were allowed to do more ourselves. Okay. It was less people wanting to put their thumbprint on something. Gotcha. More what do you want? Yeah.
Well, I have to say, Danny, you look healthier and more clear-headed than I think I've ever seen you in my entire life. Tell me about sobriety. How you doing with regard to sobriety? Are you taking a sponsor out on the road with you? Are you going to be able to have time to take in a meeting or?
No. I took a break. I was getting a little bit too merry on my last solo tour.
Sure.
We put the maths together. I was like, I feel bloated. I think I'm allergic to something. And then we realized that I was drinking 3,800 calories a day.
Yeah, I hear you.
And that I wasn't bloated.
Yeah.
So I was like, cool. We have 5 weeks off between tours. I'm gonna take a break. I'm gonna be just dry until we go out again. That 5 weeks turned into 22 months. And we reached September 4th which was my birthday, and also our first rehearsal day for tour. And I enjoyed a little bit of tequila, which I had missed dearly.
Yeah.
But that said, I try and keep it very reined in. I'm not partying on tour. I don't like people enough to party. I've learned that about myself. I'm actually quite antisocial.
Yeah.
I don't know what I was thinking all those years, but I'm here now in a more aware and knowledgeable place of myself. So I have a shot before we go on with the band as a go get them, and then that's it.
All right. Hey, that's cool, man. That's cool. You're living in Florida with your wife. 3 golden retrievers, is that right? 2. Okay. Did you have 3 for a while?
We had 3 for a minute, but the 2 younger ones, they were birth siblings. They were fighting a lot, which apparently can happen. It's basically a dominance-based aggression that can carry through their entire lives, and started hurting each other. So we rehomed one of the 2.
Wow. Okay. What was the big motivation to move from your homeland to the States here, man? I mean, aside from
we wanted to start the band.
Okay.
Yeah. We moved over here in 2008. We basically met, wrote one song, got on a plane and moved here, and then did everything else.
Wow. Interesting. Okay.
We played our first show just outside of Chicago.
Wow. Nice. Gotta love the Windy City, man. That's a great town. Was it ever cumbersome engaging in a relationship with a fan that you pretty much met at a meet and greet? It seems like an oddity, or does it happen more than you might imagine in the crazy world of rock music?
I imagine just in the world of music. I used to think it was strange, and I was like, I don't think I could ever date a fan. Yeah. And then as your band and your art and your music grows, and we're certainly not at this point yet, but you become acutely aware of there's going to be a point where you can't meet anyone who isn't a fan, and if they're not a fan, they don't want to meet you.
Yeah, true.
So I don't see Adam Levine. I mean, he's obviously already married, but where he is single man, I don't see him being able to go out and meet and start a relationship with a woman who doesn't know who Maroon 5 are.
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt. Your wife must be a saint. I mean, does the rigors of being a rock star with studio sessions and touring ever present any challenges at home, or is this going to be some uncharted territory going out on the road this jaunt?
We'll see.
Yeah.
I'm not the easiest person to maintain any form of relationship with, friendship included. Yeah. I generally talk to. I'm a person who spends his life seeing his friends twice a year for a night, and being totally fine with that. And I don't call people and see how they're doing. I don't text people and catch up. I'm very work orientated and very business orientated, and that's kind of my primary focus in life. But you try and be aware of your shortcomings and your rough spots and try and figure it out.
Yeah, that's cool. That's the best you can do, man. I mean, so technically, going to the show here, is this a co-headlining show with a day to remember? You guys, what can the audience expect? How deep will you dive into the catalog? Do you know how long your set is going to be?
I haven't looked how long our set is. I know which songs we're playing, but I don't know how much space there is around that or what those minutes add up to.
Yeah.
I'm trying to, while we're taking it a lot more seriously and it's a lot more professional, and we've put a lot more thought and work and time into this than we ever have before. I'm trying to keep an air of freeform to it so that it still feels exciting and spontaneous, and every city isn't getting the exact same show every night.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we've tried to create a show that creates energy and excitement and kind of keeps that build up. And there's some ups and downs, and it just we've tried to create a very well flowing show that feels good, because at the end of the day, these people coming out to the show, they've been away from live music for such a long time, but also have a lot of them been away from work, and people have saved up their money and looked forward to this night, and all they ask of us is to entertain them and do a good job of it. So we're trying our hardest to do that.
So does that mean a lot of material from your earlier years in Asking Alexandria? Or are we going to hear quite a few songs from the new album?
There's songs off the new album, there's songs off the other new album that we've never played live.
Right. Yeah.
And then we have obviously a bunch of stuff from the self-titled, which has been a success beyond what we ever could have imagined when we came back together and made that. And it's yeah, we've pieced together a set that represents us and doesn't feel dated, doesn't feel like it's disingenuous. I think if we were to go up on stage and play a bunch of screamy metal songs, I don't think it would be very fun for anyone. While people, on the surface, like, I'd love to see that. It's like we wouldn't, because I don't think it's a stranger to anyone that my heart isn't even close to being into the same city as that music was. While I have respect for it and what it did for us, I think that's a chapter of our lives that's just it's very long gone, and we're very different people, and we have very different feelings and different personalities, and we're in very different places in our life. At the end of the day, we were 17-year-olds when we made that, and everyone's in their 30s and has children, and is kind of very, very different people. So we're trying to be true to who we are, while at the same time making a fun show for everyone who's here.
Cool. One last question. I know you've got a busy day here, and I appreciate the time today, Danny. You've done a lot of cameos and co-writing and co-sings with musicians over the years. Who's still left on the bucket list? I mean, if you just had your choice, I mean, I'm sure there's a lot, but could you narrow it down to a top 2 or 3?
I would love to do. I'd love to do something with Adele, one of the greatest voices.
Oh God, my God, yes.
John Mayer is one of my favorite artists. I would love to do something with him. I would love to sing a song with Michael Bolton.
Michael Bolton, wow. Okay.
I think for as cheesy as he is seen by many people, he has one of the most outstanding voices I've ever heard.
Yeah.
He's also written some incredible songs for other people as well. But I'd love to sing a song with him. Jennifer Hudson. It's a very, very long list. I'm thinking of all of them and trying to be like, okay, let's try and create a list of importance. You never know who's listening. He might be like, yeah, I'm down.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, hey, Elton's been doing quite a bit of stuff with Ozzy, so you might as well put Elton on the list, right?
Yeah, that would be wonderful.
Danny, man, I really appreciate it, brother. I can't wait to see you back out here on the West Coast. I'm so happy you guys are back out and doing what you love on the road, and really looking forward to the show, man.
Just a quick tidbit. For our first time ever in Reno, we was our first run-in with the law.
Oh no!
Earlier in the tour, Ben and I had bought these tiny little children's dirt bikes, like little 50 cc's.
Yeah,
and we were just running around Reno on them, just in the streets. Obviously, we didn't have driver's licenses, let alone motorcycle licenses, nor are they road legal.
Yeah,
ripping around all the streets and the strips, and yeah, police didn't like it.
And so, if you got pulled over, but you said, "Look, we're playing the show here. We're just letting off some steam." They gave you a warning, or what?
Yeah, they said you're pushing those back.
Damn it, Jim. Well, hey man, if you have any time on Friday when you guys are here into town, I got to take you out to a great Mexican food restaurant that only the locals know about. I don't know if you're a Mexican food fan, but this place is off the hook.
Love it.
All right, brother. Good to see you, man. Congratulations on everything. Again, new album, See What's on the Inside, coming out on October the 1st. Take care, brother.
Thank you.